Yeah, a few gooners, Anton, who comes on the show, keeps saying, Terry, when are you going to say that Arsenal are the favourites? And I typically wait until the next international break, whenever it comes. I always wait to international breaks when I reassess things. And I'm still saying that because I think Arsenal win the next 2 games against Burnley and against Sunderland in the league, respectively. I think they'll win both. But it is about performances. And the one thing that Liverpool have shocked me with so far this season is the performances are just not getting better. In fact, I feel they've been getting worse progressively. What annoyed me about this weekend is Slot found a bit of a solution against Frankfurt. And yes, Frankfurt are quite an open team who played the way Slot wanted them to, but he went 4-4-2. He dropped players like Kirkes. And I know Kirkes scored a goal, but let's be honest, he still didn't perform well yesterday in his main duty of defending. And then he reverted back to the same shape and a lot of the same players who have been failing all season in the next league match. And that, for me, is where he's hurting himself. And I do still think Liverpool's form will turn around because they can't stay this bad all year. Because of this level of performance for the rest of the season, we'll see them come around mid-table. That's what this performance will. You can see this amount of chances. It doesn't matter how good you are at scoring goals. You're going to end up finishing somewhere between 6th and 10th. And I think Liverpool will get better, in my personal opinion. But it's how quickly they can do that, because it's a 7-point gap. And one thing that's a guarantee, if Arsenal do win their next 2 games, that's the if part. The guarantee is that in the next 2 games, one or both of City and Liverpool will drop points because they play each other. And it's that psychological element. If Arsenal go into the January, into the next international break going into December, if they go into that with a 9-point, 10-point, 11-point gap over both of their main rivals, I don't mean any disrespect to Tottenham or to Bournemouth or to Sunderland. I don't see those teams staying the course with Arsenal. I don't think they're of that level. They've proven to be of that level. I know Leicester did it, but again, that's like looking for rocking horse shit. It's a rarity. I just personally, Arsenal won't be the marginal favourites by then. They'll be the clear favourites at that point, and then it will just be about them maintaining their quality. And I still think Arsenal, by the way, have got a level to go up, and we'll get onto them a little bit more in the show. But for Liverpool right now, I do get the meltdown. I do get the frustration. I do get the anger that's going through Liverpool fans' minds. I know that Arne Slot is going to end up being the complete fall guy, and someone new may end up coming in. If he keeps losing games, if you fall further and further behind, he'll go. But I do think some of these players need to take a long, hard look at themselves. Again, I thought Van Dijk, man, look at the penalty that he gave away. I see a lot of Liverpool fans say it wasn't a penalty. Like, he kicked the guy's foot after pushing him. It absolutely was a penalty. I looked at him and Konate for the second goal, and the distance between them, one up, one down. It's just, I don't believe the manager's instructing that shape. Does that make sense? Yeah. I believe players in the moment. There are individuals out there. Mo Salah, he scored a fantastic goal, but everything else he did on the day. You remember that advert where everything the guy touched turned to Skittles? Do you remember that TV advert? Yeah. That's what Mo Salah was doing. Everything he touches at the moment that happens to. Wirtz, again, Wirtz is one of these players. Bruno Fernandes could never get away with it because he looked awkward playing. He's an ugly footballer, as my good friend Staffy would say. But Wirtz is one of those players who looks very good. James Maddison is like this for Spurs.
Yeah, I've said it. They're very similar.
Very good when doing nothing. They're very, very... You know, like the good-looking woman or the good-looking guy in the office who doesn't do anything, but they get away with it because they're eye candy, right? That's what they're like, some of these footballers. And by the way, I think both of them... I think Wirtz has shown levels in Germany, and he's got the ability to get there. But I just watched him and went, okay, that was a nice pass. That was a nice little turn. And
the body feints and stuff. It's like they're dancing on the pitch. Like, they're giving you a little something. They're moving, they're gliding.
It's more, these footballers, when they're playing badly, the way people judge them, I said it before, people should be watching ballet or Strictly Come Dancing. Oh, the lines, bruv, and the angles, and it looks amazing. Yeah, he lost the ball, though. For me, I'd rather the guy that looks ugly that finds that pass or creates that chance. And I don't know. For me, I just look at it, and Liverpool fans have got to put pressure in all the right places. They really, really do. And I think there's a big combination of issues at the moment. And I think you're a couple of losses away, or a couple of games where you drop points now away from the title. You'll still be champions. You'll still wear those gold badges until the new Kings of England are crowned. But I think your league title defense will be over. And for Liverpool, that money that was spent in the summer, a big part of it was about creating a new dynasty. Klopp was fantastic. You won some great trophies, had some brilliant seasons. But there was you were up against City. City were the team in that decade that created the dynasty. Liverpool didn't. And I think Liverpool wanted that. Liverpool wanted to go back to back, win Champions League, do a three-peat, win Champions League, win domestic trophies, recreate what they had in the 70s and 80s. That was the point of spending that money. And I'm not saying that won't happen just because you have one bad Premier League year, because these players can come good. But at the same time, I understand the disappointment. If you get 11 games into a season after being one of the best teams in the world, one of the best teams in one of the best in Europe, one of the best in the world, winning the league at a canter. And there's a comment that came in here that said, sorry, I'll come back to that one in a minute. The highest amount ever spent in a summer in the Premier League history, and they are trying to run the league is weak narrative. I've seen Liverpool fans doing that. Well, you can't, because you and many people agreed, the consensus agreed, that when you won it last year, it wasn't weak. Most of us think a lot of teams have improved themselves this year in terms of transfers and new managers and everything else. You can't now argue it's a weak lead. Liverpool are not in transition. I mean, that for me is crazy talk. Yes, you lost Trent, but you kept two of your greatest ever players, and you added some top class players, some Premier League players, some brilliant, foreign imports as well. And it's just been horrendous for Liverpool so far. And as much as I'm completely wrong, I thought you guys were going to be amazing this year. I hold my hands up. I've got a prediction wrong. Who cares, really? But we're talking about the reality of the situation, and I don't think it can be overly played down. But that's just me.
The one thing I would say is that I think it'll be interesting to see how we progress in the Champions League. If there's probably a way back for Slot, it would be probably in that competition, because obviously we didn't have the best season last year in terms of progression, and PSG obviously went on to win it. But yeah, I think we just don't have the answers right now. Listen, I think with the money spent, you need to be seeing more of what they're showing right now. I think missing out on Gay is probably something that maybe if you look at it and go back and say that was such a big miss, considering how frail we are at the back. You could even see if you're playing Kirk as obviously at the left back. I would personally right now, and I've said it a good few times, I would have Robertson there just from an experience point of view. He's happy to kind of sit in. Him and Van Dijk have played 200, 300 games together. They know each other so well, and he does still have the quality going forward when he maybe makes that step. Like Kirk has right now is just. I know, like you said, Terry, he scored the goal, but he was terrible all game. Do you know what I mean? He was so poor, and he's continuing to show that. So I think if we had had...
Oh, you cut out.
Mike went again.
Oh, that's weird. Is it back?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's cut now. If we had got him, then it might have been slightly different. We might be able to defend set pieces. But even there was actually the stat came out that Liverpool had they were... on average, they were taller than the Brentford players. So, it wasn't a case of that, the Brentford players were, taller. It was just they were using their set pieces more. Do you know what I mean? They're more aggressive in them. So, yeah,
Oh, you're gone again. Oh.
What's going?
I think maybe a wire. Check your wires. Maybe one of your wires is, a little bit loose.
We're going to win the Champions League. That's what I'm going to say, right? Get back
I hear that. Viewers, do